Hey, BC DJ Legion, back with you once again, doing yet another contest entry. This one is for smfcpthowdy's 1800 subs redo. So we're gonna do a great video here. I love John's channel. He's got a really great collection, a really good collection of Beatles and Kiss. Those two bands specifically, but lots of other great stuff. An amazing collection of guitars. He's quite a accomplished guitar player. That's what I want to say. Very skilled. Yeah, if you like vinyl guitars, rock music, and all of that stuff, and muscle cars and that whole niche, you should definitely be watching John's channel, smfcpthowdy. And I'll put a link in the description below. Anyway, John wanted us to do two concepts, two questions. His first request was to show a resurrection album, and what he meant by that was an album that resurrected a band's career and took them back to the top after they had been on the top and fallen off. And they put out an album that took them back. And the album I chose for that was AC/DC's Razor's Edge. AC/DC had three big albums in a row that all did very well from 79 to 81. They had Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and For Those About to Rock. All of those albums went into the U.S. top 10. In 1981, they also reissued Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap for the American market. That album went into the top 10 as well. So they had 4 albums in the top 10 in 3 years. But then in the follow-up to For Those About to Rock was called Flick of the Switch. And this album did not go into the U.S. top 10. In fact, it peaked at number 15 and fell right back off the charts. And their follow-up albums after that continued to do worse. They had an album called Fly on the Wall. I think that one peaked at number 32 or 37. So that one just barely got into the U.S. top 40. They had Blow Up Your Video. That one did a little better, but I think it made it up to like number 17 on the chart. So they weren't cracking the top 10 like they had been for quite some time. So Atlantic Records, they lost that label. For whatever reason, either Atlantic didn't renew their contract or threw them off the label or whatever, so they went to Columbia. And in 1990, released The Razor's Edge. This album went all the way back, made it to number 2 on the U.S. Billboard charts, sold millions of copies, and really resurrected their career. And since this album in 1990, every single AC/DC record since then has gone top 10. Ballbreaker went top 10. Black Ice, Rock or Bust. Yeah, all their albums, Stiff Upper Lip, all their albums since this one have been in the top 10. So this is the one that put them back on track. And I actually don't care that much for this one as much as this one, ironically. It's kind of funny. Another thing I discovered while researching this is Power Age, High Voltage, and Let There Be Rock. When they were released, none of those albums cracked the U.S. top 100. In fact, Let There Be Rock didn't even crack the U.S. top 150. Ironic that such iconic albums like that we consider iconic rock albums today, did very poorly at the time. So anyway, yeah, this was my pick for the Resurrection album, AC/DC's Razor's Edge. After about 6 years of struggling and having a few albums that didn't do well, this put them right back on top, released on Columbia Records. So Atlantic screwed up, as often the case. Everybody's all about what you've done for me lately, and boy, if you have an album that doesn't sell well, they want to kick you off the label. And AC/DC showed them, went to a different label and had a huge album that sold millions and millions of copies, and they've been doing well ever since. And Atlantic Records is missing out on all that revenue now. All right, so the second part of John's contest was he wanted us to show a cover song. He wanted us to show a cover song that we think was better than the original. And that doesn't necessarily mean did more commercial success, but they sold more albums. But just a cover song that that we thought was better than the original. So the song I went with was Rock and Roll Hell from Kiss. Originally in 1982, it was on this album, Creatures of the Night, one of my favorite Kiss records. John will enjoy the fact that this is a South American import and has the different label that is not on the American release. It has the standard Casablanca label. And they're very thinly made. I need to get a new one of these because you can see how cheap cardboard. A lot of albums that come from overseas, countries like Korea, South America, very poorly made, poor quality. But anyway, Rock and Roll Hell, 1982. And that was covered on Ace Frehley's Origins Volume 1 in 2015. And I thought his version was better. I really liked it a lot. In fact, I have half a mind to make my own bootleg Creatures of the Night CD with Ace's version of Rock and Roll Hell on it, just to create the illusion that Ace was still in the band even though he's on the cover. He actually did not play or sing on this album at all. But I've always tempted to make, since I've heard this new version of it, to make a Creatures of the Night bootleg CD that has Ace's version of Rock and Roll Hell, just to kind of give the facade that he was still in the band during the recording of that album. Because I think his version on this album sounds better than the one that Kiss did in 1982, ironically. And that's... very few people do Kiss songs that sound better than Kiss, but I think he did a great job on this one. So, there it is. The cover song that I thought was better than the original, and the Resurrection album, AC/DC, The Razor's Edge. Yeah, there it is. John, congrats on 1,800 subs. I know that the first time you had the contest, the response was less than epic. Sadly, for whatever reason, and I'm in a contest right now, my 400 subs contest. I've gotten 3 entries so far, and it's been a week already. So I mean, I kind of get it that it's kind of a drag when not everybody is so excited as you are about things, or for whatever reason. I'm not sure also if contests in the VC are, we've jumped the shark on contests, maybe. It seems like now there's 100 contests going on all at once. Every other video that's coming across my subscriptions is a contest and or a contest entry response. So maybe contests are kind of burn out the punch card on those. I don't know. But anyway, congrats on 1,800 subs, and yeah, I'm sure you're going to go on. 2,000 is next. 2,000 is next, and so on and so forth. So, going to be with you. I did not unsubscribe from your channel actually when you took a break. I stayed with you because I just kind of said, he loves being in the VC. He's going to be back. I know he is. He's just kind of struggling with it right now, but I know he's just not. It's in his blood to show albums and play music, and so I know you were going to be. I knew you were going to be back, and you were, and I'm glad to see you. So until I see you all again, you know what to do. Turn up the music, turn down the drama, and check out my 400 subscribers contest and enter if you wish. I'll see you all soon.